Stateside let's get into the nitty gritty of it, man, because I've got the trade. I'm a responsible person, so I've got the full scope of the trade. The Miami Heat receive Giannis Antetokounmpo, Bobby Portis. The other side, the Milwaukee Bucks, receive a lot of things. Tyler Hero, Khalil Ware, Jaime Jaquez, Kasparas. I can't even pronounce the brother's name, but the rookie from last year, shooting guard. He's all right. 13th pick. 2 first-round picks, 2031, and 2033. A pick swap in 2030, and a cheeky second-round pick as well, 2023. Stateside of course, naturally, we have to start with the Milwaukee side. Don't forget about them. Don't forget about them. We'll get to them, but forget about them for now. The Heat side, Miami side, the A side now.
Right.
They gave up the farm, but, when there's a talent like Giannis on the board, I hear Pat Riley, do what needs doing, get it done, and think about it afterwards. And that's exactly what they did to me. They've given up the farm, and now Giannis is in the door.
Hashtag Heat Nation, stand up. Heat Nation, stand up. I mean, we got Giannis, Wilt, Bam, and Kobe. I mean, bro, it was very underwhelming. I'm not going to lie to you, to be completely honest.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I thought Giannis was going to go somewhere like Boston or OKC, whatever.
Well, it's not moving you.
I thought he was going to go to a team that was supposed to win now. I don't know if the Heat is going to win now. And if they're going to, he's going to have to do the Jimmy Butler route. You know what I mean? You have to do the whole carry job, the whole LeBron sort of thing. Because if you look at their team now, they don't have much shooters. Obviously, he's still really early in the offseason. But what we have, Giannis, Bam, Andrew Wiggins,
Davion Mitchell,
Norman Powell.
Yeah.
It's not really moving mountains for me. You know what I mean?
Really?
Saying, to be a title challenger, to make noise in the East, to challenge the Knicks, Boston, and the Cavs, I think.
I guess.
Is that enough? I don't know. But then I was saying this as well, that if you've got someone like Giannis and obviously Bam as well, especially Giannis, he obviously puts a lot of pressure at the rim. Shooters are going to be thinking, I need to try and find a way to get to Miami. You know, I need to find a way to play with Giannis because, first of all, you're going to go deep in the postseason, obviously hoping Giannis stays injury-free, but a lot of quality shots, potential of, obviously, like I said, getting deeper in the postseason. And with like I said, with the whole Giannis thing, I felt a little bit underwhelmed. But if you're the Heat, bro, you're happy. You know what I mean? Because, bro, Giannis is a hot commodity. You know what I mean? Great basketball player as well.
I see what you did there.
No, but I'm just saying, bro, I've always sat here and say, Giannis is one of the superstar players in the league, but we just haven't seen him deep in the postseason. Last time he was in the postseason, he got a gentleman swept by the Pacers. He was scrapping Tyrese's dead. That's worse.
I believe we left off with you saying Giannis was trying to fight the people then.
Bro, he was scrapping Tyrese's dead. I mean, he obviously got gentleman swept in spectacular fashion. It was embarrassing to see. Like I'm saying, in order to get more eyes to the NBA, the superstar players have to go deep in the postseason. It was Wemby's first year in the postseason, got all the way to the finals. Wemby has a lot of new fans now and a lot of new haters. But either way,
I like how you just picked up. You're a nasty man. Honestly, you're a nasty man.
We're creating content. Are we not? Are we not? You have to give both sides of each coin. I mean, it's exactly what it is. With Giannis, bro, certain Giannis fans, they probably forgot Giannis existed because you don't see him much. First of all, regular season is getting injured more and more as the years is going on. And like I'm saying, you're not seeing him deep in the postseason. So he's not garnering new opinions and new fans and new haters, like I'm saying, just new buzz. But him obviously going to the Heat, a bigger sort of market than Milwaukee, automatically that's going to bring more eyes to Miami basketball. And obviously, like I'm saying, give him an opportunity playing with one of, if not the best coach in the league, and Coach Spo, see what they can cook up. You know what I mean? Because Coach Spo is probably one of the best coaches in the league that can turn water to wine. So if you've got Giannis, maybe you don't need that much more. You know what I mean? You've got, you've got a Bam that can defend 1 to 5, can give you 83 points on a random Tuesday. So
facts, by the way, fact.
That's what I'm saying. So who's to see what can happen with Miami next season? Definitely excited to see. Obviously, post LeBron, Jimmy did what he could. Every time he got to the finals, it just looked like one step too far. Could now Giannis get the Heat to the finals and do what Jimmy never did?
Listen, I listen to your little soliloquy over there. It's not moving you. You wanted to see more fireworks. To me, this is as good as it's going to get for Giannis, in terms of him trying to be in a serious situation, serious forward-thinking team that's aggressive, that's willing to do anything it takes to try and win a championship. I'm thinking of somebody like Pat Riley. Is he advancing in his age? Is he, for lack of better words, probably senile at this point? Probably. However, he knows what to do when superstars are in the building and when superstars are available. Don't miss that often. I understand that KD, Donovan Mitchell a few years ago. Yeah, sure. But, when it came to getting Jimmy Butler in the door, did people expect, what happened to happen? No, they didn't. When LeBron James was available and, ready to make that swing, he made the most out of that, got 2 chips out of it. You know what I mean? So Shaquille O'Neal, obviously, back in the day is another example. When the Heat see that opportunity to get that marquee guy, they don't mess around. They'll empty the clip, they'll sell the farm, and that's what they did. They gave up a hell of a lot to do it because of the faith that they have in Giannis. Because, look, you're talking about those Jimmy Butler finals. You can both agree that Giannis, all time, no matter what age, is a better player than Jimmy Butler is. So you like to think Giannis in those situations is giving Miami a much better chance against anybody because of the fact that they have Giannis Antetokounmpo in that building. You mentioned Coach Spo as well. You'd like to think that, he doesn't need much. Bro, for years, he's been turning water into wine from G League players, undrafted players, people that were supposed to be, misguided goods. He's been changing around their fortunes. He's been giving people multi-million-dollar contracts. Look at people like Duncan Robertson. If he was anywhere but Miami before he got to Detroit and other places as well, no chance he's still in the NBA. But because he landed in that Miami situation, yeah, he's got a good career of it and he's making a little bit of walla. So I'm thinking, look, very early days in this Miami, I don't want to call it rebuild because you're not rebuilding, you're contending right now with Giannis in the door. But you like to think that, cool, there's going to be people now that want to come to Miami, not only because it's Miami, but like you said, Giannis is there, Bam is there, Coach Spo is there, they've got a good nucleus, Pat Riley is there, they've got everything, in place to attract those few key role pieces that they're going to need in regards to competing with the better teams in the East. If they get to the finals, the better teams in the West as well. They're going to be attracting the players. They're going to be developing the, few young pieces that they have kept over. And look, I like to think this is going to be good times in Miami moving forward, man. It might not be this year. Maybe this year is kind of an awkward LeBron first year in LA, Brunson first year in New York. Like, feed it out, see what you can win with, see what you can't win with. Then the next year you move. But in regards to Miami, like, if I had to give this like a letter grade, for example, A+. If I had to give this a rating out of 10, 11. This is what you had to do to get the superstars in the door, bro. Simple as that.
I mean, I hear it. Obviously, if you're Miami, like I said, that's a win for you. But in terms of what I expected them to go to a better team in terms of like them winning now. But then again, if you look at Giannis, his skill set, he can't be a second option. He can't go to a team.
Oh, this is a good question for you now, then, because I understand. Excuse me. I understand Bam 83. I understand Coach Spo is, a seasoned coach in this game now.
Right.
But this is Giannis's team, isn't it? Let's not be frank.
100%. No, it 100% is obviously, and I feel like Bam actually will do better with Giannis being there. Obviously, you look at the space and it's not great, but in terms of taking a lot of the pressure off of Bam, because they're saying Bam needed to expand his game to shoot more mid ranges, to stretch out, shoot more threes, which he can, but he's not really hurting teams with all of that. So I'm saying Bam can just feed off of the gravity that Giannis obviously naturally would just garner because of how great of a force he is, driving to the rim and just being out on the floor. But this definitely is Giannis' team for sure. But I'm just saying, this Heat team, they're probably looking at it in like a 2-3 year window because the NBA moves quick. Do you know what I mean? If it doesn't happen this coming year, you'd at least want to see some sort of foundation built. And then, like you said, next season or the season after, you can try and like make more moves, or you can really try and push through and see, can we get to the finals? Can we win a chip in this short window we have?
Their base, at least, look, think of it schematically, right? Their base on offense is put Giannis around all the shooters, maybe Bam him and the pick and roll is going to be a lethal combination, obviously, and that can lead you to some level of success. Obviously, sprinkling what's spoken to offensively. Thinking about it defensively, bro, that is a lights out, starting five that you think of if you think of the people that are still there and people that are still to add as well. So I'm really struggling. I'm really, really struggling to see the downsides of it. Spacing, is it perfect? Probably not. But be realistic. How many, stretch fives out there that are shooting like Cat, like Chet? There's not that many, bro. Even Wemby, who's supposed to be this, can do everything guy, bro. In the finals, I could pull up the percentages. It weren't great.
Right.
So you're thinking of somebody like Bam, who's starting to stretch his game mid-range outside. Somebody like Giannis, who's probably the best paint force that's in the NBA at the minute. Surrounding them with the correct pieces that can defend and shoot the basketball, bro. In terms of what a modern day offense is supposed to be, the Miami Heat have that plus so much more. And again, I'll reiterate it, man. You're thinking of those times that Jimmy Butler willed his teams doing Michael Jordan-esque things to get to the finals. Bro, put Giannis in that situation. And are you looking at the Heat as, plucky underdogs that are just happy to be there? No, you're not. You're thinking of them as serious title contenders. Why? Because they have one of the best players in the league, potentially the best when he's really going. So I really can't see why anybody can knock this from Miami perspective. I think they smashed it, man.
No, 100%, 100%. Like I said, it gives them a 2-3 year window. If they can try and at least get to the finals or get to the conference finals in year one, perfect. But if they can't, like I said, see what foundation can you set for the next couple of years moving forward. And hey,
I'm just saying, I just saw in the news the other day that they just cut Thanasis and Alex. They need jobs. This is what the Greek freak is doing.
Right.
Giving jobs to the people that deserve roles in the league.
Wait, so Thanasis didn't come to Miami with...
Oh no, it's not been official yet, matey. It's just not been made official. They just cut him from Milwaukee. So
they cut him from Milwaukee.
They cut him from Milwaukee. So you know what's gonna happen, man. You know what's gonna happen.
If it wasn't because of Giannis, there's no way you were gonna be here, man.
So bring some of the the bros over there. Get the vibes going in Heat Nation, Heat culture. Get that going again. And then, hey man, Miami's looking ton up, as they say, as the kids say.
Yeah. 100%. Like I said, if I'm a Heat fan, I'm gassed. I mean, because you've got another superstar in the win.
Their team is relevant again.
Exactly.
Not that it was irrelevant, but it's like really, really prevalent right now.
100%. And it's like when Butler took him to both finals, like it was like a Cinderella type story, but they didn't really give him a great shot to win the whole thing. You know what I mean? It's like, wow, I can't believe that he made the finals. Like, how great is Jimmy Butler, done, like playoff Jimmy, this and that. But deep down, people don't think, people just saw it as a step too far. But if Giannis takes the Heat to the finals, you give him a great chance of winning it because Giannis is just that upper echelon of superstar talent.
Last one, which is a very nice segue into what we're going to do in regards to the Milwaukee side of things. What kind of legacy is Giannis leaving behind now that, is a chapter closed in Milwaukee? How will you remember him in regards to his time as a Milwaukee Buck?
I mean, bro, this guy came from nothing. I mean, he had the hunger in his belly, the fire, the chip on his shoulder, whatever you want to call it, and brought Milwaukee a championship in their franchise history. I don't think ever happened.
If Kareem got them one, but that was in black and white.
50 years ago. I mean, and obviously you look at his finals performance in 2021. Went down 2-0 to start and run off 4 straight. Finished off the series with 50 points in Game 5. It just speaks to how historic of a play he's been, not only for the league, but obviously for Milwaukee as well. He's been the face of Milwaukee basketball for close to 10 years now. So yeah, you just have to give him that credit. 2 MVPs and a Defensive Player of the Year over there, bro. He shattered all the records. I mean, he done everything he could do in the space of time that he was there. So I think if you're a Milwaukee fan, you're glad that you saw the best, or you got the best off Giannis. And now obviously is the Heat turn to see what they can get with Giannis.
For sure. I think that is the best player in their franchise's history. No question anymore. I understand Kareem, Oscar, they got the championship 50 years ago.
Right.
Giannis holds all the records. He's been the face of a franchise for the best part of 10 years. He's been at the top of the game. He's been undisputably the best player in the league for at least a couple of years, especially when he was winning the MVPs, Defensive Player of the Years. Like, really and truly, there were people close, like KD, obviously, LeBron was coming down. But Giannis...
Harden was around that time, 18.
Yeah, Harden was as well. However, who was winning the championships, who was winning the MVPs, who was winning the depoys? It was Giannis, and he did that all under the Milwaukee, umbrella. He's got a blood ring, as some people like to call it, in regards to sticking with one team through thick and thin, facing good teams along the way, and, not doing it the easy way in regards to joining a super team like was popular at the time. And going somewhere where, it was going to be, in his words as well, not mine, by the way, easy. But he stayed, got the City a championship, did what he needed to do, got the records. He deserves to have a new chance. And I wish him the best in the Miami Heat situation, because I like to think it's going to be a very good one for him. Now, we do have to speak about the Milwaukee side of it, because it's dark. For the people that weren't listening at the beginning, let me read off what they received again. Tyler Hero, Khalil Ware, Jaime Jaquez. I believe this guy's Lithuanian. I can't pronounce his name. I'll be honest. I got my missus.
I made a video on TikTok. I butchered his name.
Don't want to embarrass myself. I won't. The number 13 pick in the 2026 draft, who was actually, because I've got the draft results right here, Nate Ament. So sure, congratulations to him. 2 first-round picks, one in 2031, one in 2033. A pick swap in 2030, which more than likely is going to be, the best version of the pick. The Heat will get the worst version of that pick, and a cheeky second-round pick of 2023. Like I said, first of all, I'll ask your opinion on it, because in my opinion, this is probably one of the best offers that Milwaukee was going to get. I understand that there was a few others out there. I believe the Celtics were the other final team that could have got there in regards to Jaylen Brown, a pick, and maybe another player or two. But my opinion, Stateside Up, and you can let me know if I'm wrong, this was probably as good as it was going to get for the Bucks in receiving, the farm for somebody of Giannis' talent.
I mean, there wasn't really much else that they could have really got. Do you know what I mean? Because it's just one of those. Obviously, Milwaukee saw that Giannis just didn't want to be there anymore, and he clearly had enough. I want to say, obviously, a couple of pick swaps. Tyler Heroes, he going back home to Milwaukee as well. I guess that adds to the whole thing. But it's Giannis, bro. You're still never going to get the same equal value back of what you've given up. But hey, you take what you get. Ultimately, the club is bigger than the player, as they always say. So if someone doesn't want to be there anymore, you do everything you can to get them away from the situation. I guess if you want to blow up and start again, if you want to pivot and start a new era in Milwaukee with, homegrown talent, Wisconsin's own, Tyler Hero, then yeah, you go that route. But like I said, a lot of the fans that were there when Giannis won him a championship, was winning all those MVPs, Defensive Player of the Year. So
a lot of them are Heat fans now, by the way.
Shout out Paige, but I'm saying you just there's no complaint from the Bucks. I mean, there shouldn't be anyway, in my opinion. You got the best you could in the situation that you were in, so that's kind of really down on
that. Yeah, you are correct in that regard. However, Stateside Up, I will be honest, and I'll let you go after this little, monologue that will go on. This roster is bleak. It's dark. So, for the foreseeable future, I'm a bit spooked for Milwaukee. If I'm looking at the roster now, obviously Tyler Hero is the best player that's there, but bro, Ryan Rollins, Gary Trent, Lithuanian fella that's come from Milwaukee, from the Heat, excuse me, Gary Harris, Andre Jackson, Kyle Kuzma, Jaime Jaquez, Torian Prince, Miles Turner, Khalil Ware, and obviously the rookie Nate Ament. Look, these are nice players, and you know what? Surrounded by Giannis, they were probably a few levels up. However, Giannis is not there anymore, and in terms of what they have in terms of talent, it is, as some of my brothers elsewhere would say, Tyler Hero and Inshallah, because that team is not going anywhere fast. I'd like to think that Miles Turner, he's probably rethinking his future in Milwaukee, because the main reason he probably signed there is because I'm a great fit next to Giannis. Giannis is not there anymore, so I need to go and compete somewhere else, because I ain't competing here. I'm looking at some of the other role players there. They're probably thinking the same thing, especially if they're hitting free agency. Kuzmania might as well stay there, matey. I don't know for him, all right, because I don't know what other team's taking him. But you're thinking of the other vets that are on that team. Look, there ain't nothing for me here in Milwaukee no more. And well, people lining up to go to Milwaukee, they probably weren't doing that when Giannis was even there. So in regards to what I'm thinking, in regards to where Milwaukee are at right now, future wise, yeah, they're proof. They got a few of their picks in there. They got some new picks from the Heat as well. They got a good rookie in Nate Ahmet more than likely. But in terms of their foreseeable future, you can let me know if I'm wrong. Dark.
That kind of what tends to happen when you get rid of a superstar talent and all-world talent. Do you know what I mean? And Golden State, they're one team that it's like they're waiting for that to happen with them. Do you know what I mean? Certain teams like OKC, it's a little bit different because once you get rid of KD, Westbrook, Paul George, you flip it. A couple of years is a bit dark, but then bang, Shea comes out of nowhere. That type of situation doesn't happen too often. It does not happen too often. So it's like, and I think fans naturally will just accept it because they're like, bro, with the amount of time that we had Giannis, we got, like I keep saying, we got the best that we could. When he leaves as he's just left now, you just hope and pray someone from the draft comes up. It's a steal because Giannis ultimately was a steal. When they got him from college, they didn't see this. Or from Greece, they didn't see this. No one's coming Milwaukee. You know what I mean? Unless like you tank real hard, and then you get like a situation like the Wizards this year. So it's one of those. Luck has to come into it. Scouting has to come into it. Player development has to come into it for the Bucks to be a respectable team or to keep their head above water. But it's tough, man. Once you get rid of a superstar talent, Giannis, because like you said, ultimately these players that came to Milwaukee, they came because they thought they had a chance with Giannis being there. Now he's gone. Now they're looking elsewhere. They're speaking to the agent. Yo, how can you get me out of Wisconsin? Like, I have no business being here anymore.
Well, that's the thing. Because do you think, like, I know I just poo-pooed a lot of them. Tyler Hero probably being the exception because I'd like to think, look, you're probably going to stay there for a little bit. It's home. You can shoot the basketball whenever you want. You're probably going to stay there. But if you're thinking of, Miles Turner specifically as well, if I look at other people on the roster, there's really not a lot here. Maybe an Andre Jackson per se. Maybe a Gary Trent, a good shooter on his day. A Ryan Rollins, who was just, in contention for most improved player of the year last year. Do you think that, there's going to be teams around the league that are going to be looking at Milwaukee to be like, no, there's people that we can be taking here. There's decent pieces here. Or do you think it's just a load of chopped liver over there?
Unfortunately, I lean kind of more to the latter. He's like, ain't really much. Obviously, you got Gary Trent Jr., you can find a team for him. You know, he's a decent shooter. Ryan Rollins was all right, but again, these guys, they don't really move mountains like that. I know they're role players, but still, how much value do you really have? And yeah, they had a lot of time because obviously Giannis missed a lot of time as well. So they had a lot of minutes where obviously they could show what they have. But from what I saw, from what I seen, it wasn't really much,
Yeah, I get it. However, whether you dislike the trade, whether you like the trade, you can like, comment, rate, subscribe on the Stateside Report UK.
Facts.
Episode 91 will be here all summer long, breaking down trades like this, off-season moves, and very shortly, drafts as well. But before we get there, Stateside Umph, shall we play a game?
Let's play a game. Let's do it.
It's been a cheeky one, because we're going to hit free agency very soon. And, this Giannis domino, I'd like to think, was the one that people were waiting for in regards to, cool, now we know where he is. We can move accordingly. That's what happened. That's what happens, when you're one of the breadwinners in the NBA.
I thought they're going to drag the Giannis trade.
Oh, from when I was seeing Shams, tweeting, very, very vigorously moving up into the draft, I was like, yeah, cool, no problem.